Good morning, guys. I don't want to make every video like it seems like it's a downer video, but I got to tell you, for all the people that say that they're preppers and for all the people that say they want to prepare for the SHTF, you're really not ready. You're really not ready. I hear so many people say, well, I have this saved up and I have all this, but you're getting tunnel vision. You're not looking at the big picture. If you're concentrating on one thing, okay, you have a storeroom full of food and that's loaded and you got a year's worth supply. That's great if you're there when it happens. But if you're not there when it happens, if you're at work 50 miles away, or you happen to be on vacation, or you're visiting somebody, all your stuff is there. Or like I said before, what happens if it flashes across the TV that you got to evacuate? All you have is your bug out bag. And a lot of people say, well, my bug out bag has 3 days worth of food, 72 hours. What are you going to do with 3 days worth of food if you're not coming back to your home? And you really don't know where you're going. You're going to be another refugee looking for a place that's going to feed you. You have to think and look at the bigger picture. Okay? There's people out there that can't even open up a can of vegetables without an electric can opener. There's people out there that can't bend over to tie their shoes without getting out of breath. If you're that out of shape, how far do you think you're going to get walking with a backpack on in 90-degree weather? If you live in a climate like I do, we have months up here that it's single digits outside. If you don't think of winter clothing and you don't have it packed away now, and then you wait until something happens and you're like, what am I going to do? I don't have any heavy clothing. It takes a house hours for the temperature to drop inside a house before it's the same temperature outside. Every year, we hear of people that burn their houses down when they lose power, trying to start a fire inside their house to keep warm. Now is the time to practice, not when things happen. Okay? Again, I hate to bring up the subject, but it's going on now and it's a perfect example. When you look at the poor people in Ukraine, this has been going on now for a month. Imagine a month without power, without water, without food, and nowhere to go. This is what you have to look at. Don't just concentrate on one thing. Your bug out bag, I have two. I have a bug out bag that has 3 days worth of food if I have to get out and I know I can come back sooner or later here. Or I have one that I might never come back, which is going to have things that are going to get me started somewhere else where I have to go. You don't know what's going to happen. We don't know the future. But I do know one thing. It's estimated that 90 million people will die within the first 2 months of either starvation, dehydration, lack of medicine. There's millions of people that are on life-saving medicine right now. Well, if something happens, they're not going to get that medicine. All these things have to be taken into account. If you have disabilities, they're going to be multiplied. I have a disability. I'm blind in my left eye. So for me, luckily, I can still function normally, but there's some people that have disabilities that if something happens, we hear it all the time. When it gets hotter, when it gets cold, what do we hear? Go check on the elderly neighbors. Make sure if there's nobody to check on them, what do you think is going to happen? Or if you need assistance getting up and out of bed or out of a chair, any of that, it's not going to be there. You have to plan now. Don't get tunnel vision. Start practicing now because every time you watch TV and every time you watch the news, no matter what news network you're watching, the threats are getting bigger and bigger. You have China involved now. Now you have Iran involved now. Now North Korea is shooting missiles off again. We don't know where or when this is going to end, but it could end very badly. And the last thing you want to do is get caught up in it and go, all of a sudden, I'm not ready. You have to prepare now. As stupid as it sounds, prepare now and get everything that you need practice-wise. Even if you have to read books. I know, God forbid we read books. But you go on the internet and it says no service. You can't Google how to survive. So do it now. And until I see you next time, stay safe.